ether. Whoop, whoop. Hello, beautiful ether. It is Thursday. I don't usually say the day. I don't know why I did today. Let's find us. And yeah, don't no, it's technically almost there, so I wanted to put something red in my hair, but I couldn't find my big red bow. But I did find this one. I made this, just crocheted a rectangle and then another smaller but longer rectangle, and it makes the perfect, most simple bow. If you want to get into crochet, you might as well have something to crochet, and this was very simple to make. Okay. Hold on. I'm messing myself up. Right. Oh, well, I have a clip in my hair, so I don't know how good that looks together. I like how it feels. Oh, it's hot in here. I was just moving around a bunch. And, moi, ici. Okay. Yeah. Made these little dice years ago. You can see how shaky my hands are. I have really shaky hands. I don't know why. YOLO. But I made these with just, God, I made them about 10 years ago. And these heart things are those things you could stab through paper to keep a few pages together. It's like that, and then you separate the two metal things and just cut squares from a piece of red felt from Walmart. The heart things are from Walmart too. And they're totally usable heart dice. And I'm going to put this. I tend to keep a lot of my handmade stuff together, like the stuff that I still have. And here's some little hair clips, but they got all bent up, so I have to iron them. Just scrap fabric, cut scallops out of them, and then you run a thread on the bottom of the scallops, and then when you pull it, it makes the perfect little flowers. God, for real, it's hot in here. Florida. So, I don't know if y'all can see this, but this is kind of all the stuff that I have made. And I have this little ball of like hair accessories that I've done. This is actually from a few years ago. I think I showed this in one of the videos. I used to make these felt fortune cookies. It's covered in pig hair because I was wearing it the other day. And I took it off when I was sleeping and I was rolling around in bed. But they're fortune cookies. So Pinterest, when Pinterest was like, it's popping, I still enjoy it. I don't appreciate all the dead links lingering on the internet. Like when you Google something craft related, you'll find 50 Pinterest pictures, but the links go nowhere. And so when Pinterest was popping, I was just about to say all that again. One of the cute little projects was making felt fortune cookies, and you could actually put little messages in them because they're just like, a fortune cookie, so you could open them. And I made an absolute ton of them, and I just started making these little sculpture hair clips. I have a large one that looks like a face, like a little dog face or something. But yeah, no, I have quite a few left, but that one's my favorite, I think. And then this is another super beginner friendly crochet project. That is, if you like it. It's really cute for, your hair. I just throw a bobby pin. You can make so many things hair clips with a bobby pin. One of my favorite things to do in high school was antique buttons, just like buttons you would sew on a sew onto clothing. You just slip it onto a bobby pin and you have really unique hair clips. And then this is one of those shell flowers that I made out of these shiny spirally shells that I found at Boynton Beach Inlet here in Florida, East Florida. And then the center are these head pins that I make out of copper wire, scrap copper wire, electrical wire. I just take the plastic off and unravel it and try to flatten it because it's usually a little kinked from being, you know, like in the shape of a... Anyway, electrical wire, and you just hit it with a micro torch and the end beads up. And as soon as it beads up, if you put it in water to quench it, as soon as that occurs, it turns bright red. Some of the most beautiful reds. And if you let it wait for a second, it will either be black or more of a copper color. And this is just for the flower center, last kind of minute decision. And then this is just a shell that I found and thrown on one of these things, which I found these at a dollar store on sale for like 19 cents or something because they had big plastic pearls, and one of them, the pearl was missing. And yeah, I grabbed them and made something else. And then these aren't hair clips, but I keep them in here. These are essentially replicas of ancient brooches, and it's just a simple mechanism. I really, really like these. If you look up ancient spiral brooch, you'll find it. It's exact as I could get it to the original. And it's salvage electrical wire, and I just added some beads to the center. And they're gripped onto the back of the wire, so they're quite sturdy. And I used the head pins that I just showed there. And this one is like a larger, this was probably the first one I made because they're not the same size, but still it's quite nice and it looks really good. Especially if you want to keep your bra strap and like a thicker dress strap together, you put them on both sides. I do make pairs of them, and it looks really cool. It kind of reminds me of Meg from Hercules, the Disney adaptation. And the other, as far as hair things, oh yeah, I really like decorating these. I always forget what these are called. These I think just hairpins. These hairpins. And as you can see, I put a howlite, a dyed howlite skull bead, and I used some sequins. I bent them so they're a little more 3D, more dimension. And I quite love these. These sold like hotcakes. It was really humbling. It was quite nice. And then this is another thing I like to do with the scrap copper. You could use them for locks or braids or just about anything. Even to gather like frays, like if you have like fringe, like really thick fringe. Like there's a lot of random things you can use a little spring for, because that's essentially what it is. It's really easy to achieve this. All I did was, this is thicker wire than what I used for the head pins, so it took a second longer because I only have a micro torch. I balled up the ends just like I would for a head pin, and then hammered it, and then was able to just hand file it into a slight like triangular shape to make the snake head. And then I just used a nail and literally just poked 2 eyes into it. And then how I got the stripes, if you can see under its face and like on its tail, those stripes, I just used the wire cutters and I went around and round and round, just slightly squeezing. And yeah, and the other one is just your basic, traditional, going back thousands and thousands of years, spiral. I'm going to need a bigger bowl, but this is fine for me. Like this, I found this at a yard sale. It came with 2 of them. here. I'm trying to save up to get an RV because I'm going to have a mobile shop. I always wanted a shop. I'm like destined to have a shop. I have a closet full of vintage here that needs to be sold, and because that's what I used to sell on Etsy and eBay and various little like local markets. Oh, I don't think you can see over there, but I have a ton, you can see over there, I have a bunch of jewelry made, and that's not all of it. I have a Tupperware ready, like all packaged and everything, and just green markets and stuff like that aren't very attainable right now because everybody I know has cars. I personally do not drive. I used to thrive with public transportation. Like, one of my favorite things is to take the train to Miami because you have to take a few connecting vehicles, and it was just so fun. Like, by the time I got there, I would have to turn around, but it was just the adventure of it. I really liked it. And you could read and write and draw. Hello, Allie. Audaleb. I hope I pronounced that right. What was I doing today? I always have to look at the title because I rarely have a plan on, I kind of make things as they pop into my mind. Like, I started making these, and what this is, you put it on your finger, and you could hold your book open, and like, upside down, like reading, like, it's so simple and so perfect. And for this one, I just filled it with local seeds and flower petals that I find on a daily, as well as other components. And I have a mold for this, so I can make them in any color, any style, with your name in it, anything. I really prefer custom pieces because I make such a variety of stuff. I don't just crochet or anything like that, and I'm sure a lot of people could relate to that. I'm not a master at any one thing. I call myself a jackass of all trades because I just love it all. Like, this is a bracelet I made. This ring was from a belt, like a big chain belt, but I just like pried it open and added these caps to it, and I think it's quite interesting. These were supposed to be earrings, but I loved making them so much I kept adding more and more beads, and they just became too heavy. Clip-on earrings, but I didn't have any. I still don't have any clip-ons. I need to get some because I want to make huge pieces now. Oh yeah, I quite like this actually. It's just flower caps that I bent to make tassels, and then it's got these like gold lotus beads, filigree beads, and yeah, blue bead at the bottom, red, blue, and pearl. And that's interesting. I'm not sure what it reminds me of. I also have quite a lot of these. I love making these with tokens from casinos. Like, this is Island 7. And I got 2 of the Island 7 ones. And then this one I didn't glue down yet, but this is one of the Guardian Angel coins that I'm sure some of y'all will remember getting those as gifts. But I came across a lot of them on eBay, so I picked them up because they fit perfectly in those pendant things. And I made this bird thing like 10 years ago. I love it. I really do. And then this is another thing that, just a quick little, it was a necklace, it was a ring, and it had an enamel design on it, but it was all just worn away. So I just glued a piece of leather and used some of this gold trim of my grandma's I found in her craft room after she passed, and assembled some shells. And I found all these shells. Florida is pretty good for, even, I could find shells even if there are no shells though, because like, even the microscopic ones in the stand, I love those for resin pieces. I don't go crazy, you know, I leave some for the next person, but They're crashing on the shore constantly. Do not worry about it. Get some of your own shells. And that way you, like, know where they came from and you're not, I don't know. I have a hard time buying natural things from, like, companies. Like, pine cones and stuff. Like, where are y'all getting these pine cones? And, like, who's picking the pine cones? Is it just, like, machines or something? I don't know. I'd rather, like, find somebody, say if I don't have the cute little pine cones here, find somebody online that does, find out what they like in life, and then offer to make it for them. Easy peasy. I'm really into bartering and trading, and picking and scoring and finding. Scoring, like, scoring antiques and stuff, and that. Yeah. You looking to score tonight? Ooh. I guess that could mean quite a few things. It could mean drugs or none. But, yeah, no, I mean vintage antiques. And flats, you know. And, I mean, I guess I'm just doing show and tell. Here's some of my favorite earrings I made in the last, like, year or two. And these are not, or by means not all of them, it's just these are my favorite. Of each kind. So, like, generally each thing you see up here, there's a few different varieties of it. And this happens to be my favorite. Just sequins I used to, and then a pearl on, and the whole thing is made out of salvaged copper. These ones aren't like the ones that I sell. The ones I sell are in little baggies already. Or I make them as they're ordered, so I don't like wasting something. So instead of like using all my stuff to make one bracelet design, I'll make a bracelet, and anything that I have like plenty more material to make more, I put it on the site, and then I just make it as it comes. Like, got an order for a keychain and 2 necklaces last night, and so I'm making those tonight. And, well, the reason why I'm making those tonight, honestly, that was a bad example, because I just sold out of them, and, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but they came out so good. It took me years to, like, of experimenting and, like, Frankensteining different processes together, but I was able to do it. It's a very specific leaf, if you know, you know. And, yeah. So there's just such a beautiful evergreen tree that their leaves, the green and the shape, it's just that classic leaf shape. I find it to be very, I don't know, just, I thought of the name for a second, but then it escaped me. What's it look like today? But I could never keep the color and the shape, and I'm finally able to do both. And, I could also make them catch light, meaning I just put some mylar in it and then it catches light. This one is more leaf than that, but I could cover it in it. And then eventually there's this company that's called Solar Dust something, and they make this, like, I'm guessing mica-based, like, powdered pigments, and they have the like mood and thermo ones. And I really, really want to make mood leaves, so when you touch it, it changes colors. I think that would be something else. Oh yeah, but see? It's nice and big, and it's really, really light. When I was in middle school, I gauged my ears, and so I'm careful. They went back, but I'm careful with earring weights. My mom can't wear earrings anymore because she's the 80s baby. She was wearing massive earrings, like earrings you could lift with, like intense earrings. And so she her ear holes are no more. And I'm very careful. And I'm starting to design more like, because I like elaborate things, I really do, and I want to make bigger earrings. Like, this is just a home ornament, but I feel like it would be quite nice for earrings. adding some extra stuff or maybe some more of the tears? I think so. Ow. I shouldn't really make stuff. I think, I was playing with the pig. He likes running around. And, oh yeah, maybe I'll show this. I wanted to make a bow, but my thread didn't fit through the bead enough times, so I took 2 head pins to make the ends of the bow. And it's got some argonon, which is opalite. I just prefer the name argonon. It sounds so much more sci-fi that way. And just a mishmash of beads. The really pretty deep ones are the beads that were gifted to me from the inmate that I've been using for all my projects now. It's one of the most what was I trying to say? Most intense blessing that I have been bestowed. Oh, well, I mean, I don't want to say that. It was just life-changing, that's all. It really was. Oh, that's what I made these. They remind me of, like, Halloween things that you would get in a dollar store. So they're really nostalgic. But I have this mold that does skull cameos. And so I just did the skull, and then on the hand one I just did the hand for a really, really lightweight, really quick pair of earrings. Okay. And I don't know why I don't organize my desk before I come on, but I guess that's how I do. Oh, Caribbean Produce, when we went, gave us elderberries and Malabar spinach seeds. So I'm really thankful for that. Oh, really thankful for that. I might try to make, like, maybe even just a small tincture. And I'm ready to go when anybody else is. Got 2 bags. Sailor Moon, they had a game, just like Pokemon. I had no idea. And, yeah. Tucci Cardion Monster. If you could see, it's just, and they have holographic ones and everything. I'm very, very, very excited. When I was a kid, I collected the crap out of Pokemon cards. I still have them all. And then the other binder is here. This one, I didn't want to pull this one out last time. It's so embarrassing. But they're all my Pokemon cards, and they're mostly holographic ones. Oh, really? Oh. Never mind. They're not mostly holographic things. But, oh, let me do this one. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the same thing. And, like, I'm just excited because I feel like I know people that will remember how to play the Pokemon, like, game and might be interested in this. And then I was thinking if it is legal maybe to scan the cards, and that way I can have, like, a card bank and, like, people could play online. And it'll be like Words with Friends, but, like, this, I just have to, I don't know. I wonder if that would be legal. I'm actually gonna ask Will because I've been wanting to know that for a while. I might as well bring the shine. I won't leave you all alone this time. rainstorming out there. But yeah, no, there's some bad news. Can't find cases of Iron Brew on Amazon for under $90 now. And, hey baby. And so, Will's got about 3 left, and it's just funny because he's like, careful now, it's my, I only like the first few sips of soda anyway. It's my last one. I love it. And, oh, I made this, a long time ago. I might have had a cigarette, and, when I quit, I decided to make this, plushie smoke, and I also turned it into a hair clip. I genuinely love it. Yeah. I need lipstick. I just drank so much Iron Brew. I'm just not very good at applying the stuff. Okay. So, I guess, oh, I do want to show this. Oops, dropped something important. I finished this last night. This is the piece that I was making on, the stream last night. And I finished it. This one, I'm probably gonna keep, but the next one, cause see, it hangs weird, and I get, you know, it doesn't have to hang perfect when I'm just holding it in my hands, cause it fits, or it hangs perfectly around my neck. But I want to toy around with that. I think I'm gonna put another charm in the center, and then I'll weigh it down. And, but I called it with this one because I really loved how it looks on, and I used these iridescent check beads, crystal beads for the chain, and I just snuck a rainbow in there, spectrum going from pink to purple, and I didn't really sign it, but I added a little 4-leaf clover to the back, and as you can see, that's how I do the rings. I just seal in jump rings, and then you can hang anything from it. You could, I was going to put another layer on the back, in which I would dust the, what's that stuff called? The mica over it, and then you wouldn't be able to see it. It would look like more internal. But I was so in love with it. I've been wanting to make this necklace for so long. I just wanted to make winged hearts for so long. And I used to make brochure pens. A lot of my family is from Georgia, Texas, and Pennsylvania. And the Pennsylvania Dutch, there's this sect of Christians that's more almost akin to, like, you know, slight witchy feels. And powwow, brochure, I always forget what R is in phonetic. Oh, we need Mr. Self-Destruction. But anyway, and in the center, I had these little sun charms, so I put a rhinestone in the center of one, 1960s rhinestone too. And then I put a few stars, and what else? Oh yeah, and 2 arrows facing opposing directions, and 4 antique pearls. I've been using these pearls for so much, and then if I overwear something, I'll just add them to something else. And so when I remake this, it will be using other pearls, because these are kind of, every now and then I send one out into the world, but they're really special to me. And for this one, I just threw one of these bar clasps on it. I just wanted to get it wearable so I could throw it on. I did it with this one too because I always keep the first thing, first design or whatever, and just gives me like a clearer like way to kind of track my you know, I think everybody should track their progress in something. You'll be amazed by you know. And this is the one I did after I got off of live last night, Ram Head. My dad's an Aries, so I'm gonna make him one, not a necklace, but I'm gonna find a wooden box and try to make an emblem and put it on the box. And in this, I still have to do the clear coat because the mold is matte. So molds are either glossy or matte, and if they're matte, your piece is going to be matte, so it's going to look like frosted. But all you have to do is put another layer of resin and it'll be crystal clear. And I still have to do that, but I just loved it so much I had to wear it. And these are flowers that my mom and I find when we go on walks. And I put a little seashell in the center, and I used the mica. These are the first two pieces I've ever used mica. I used old eyeshadow on a mold once and made earrings, snake earrings. And that's the back. I didn't sign anything into it, but I also didn't do that last layer on the back because I also like to see how the mica holds up exteriorly. For some reason, I had such a hard time believing that it was going to stay on it. Like, how is it not coming off? I would like to know, though, how people get it off their molds, because I tried water, tape, everything, and it's not budging. I got a lot of it off, like, scrubbing it, but I don't want to... Oh, I wanted to show how the heart fits, because I do think that this is my favorite piece. And I do have these same exact pearls. It's just these specific ones. Like, pearls come in a variety of shapes, and if you know the name of the shape, you could always replace it. So that's what I do. And I tend to get lots and stick to eBay or OfferUp. But I really like it. I love it. I think it's very magical looking. And I wish I could wear one of my butterflies with it, because that is probably my favorite. It's just because it's so simple. It's just an iridescent butterfly on an iridescent chain. Very butterfly Barbie. Oh, maybe I can wear them both. I feel like it's gonna look gaudy though. I'm gonna look in this mirror. I mean, it's not the worst. I kinda like it. I don't know how I feel about both of them together. But while I have them on, I might as well send a picture to Mommy. My phone case comes tomorrow. It officially fell apart. Sorry you had to see that if anybody is here. Just gonna give up on that little thing. I don't know why I always look so maniacal in photos. Oh yeah, I have to take a picture of this. I find like I pay next to nothing for my craft supplies because I use a lot of things that I find, and like depending on where you live, you're bound to find flowers. A lot of these flowers are from weeds, like what are referred to as weeds. I just send a... Really see how shaky my hands are? It's so embarrassing. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. And I really do like how this is. these butterflies, I could make, this is the largest butterfly I have for now, and I can make small ones and really, really small ones. And this one is a matte one. I also do a glossy one, like a clear one, I guess I would say. How do I get you? Oh, that's not weird. How do I get you off? Okay. Here's like a glossy one. And this one has copper as well. Does it have the metal shavings? Oh, maybe not in this one. This one does have copper, and it has black tourmaline, apatite, gold leaf, crystals, quartz crystals. That's what they look glossy. It's a matte mold, so they come out matte, so they come out like this. But when I pulled this one out, I just loved how it looked matte. You couldn't see the source of the iridescence, only the iridescence. And I couldn't bring myself to do that layer on it. And the body of it is rhinestones. And you'd be able to see the shine of the rhinestones really well if I did that layer. But I don't know, they look more like aluminum or something here, or sterling. I love it. And these beads actually I found at Walmart when I was there with my mom. Just iridescent beads. And then on the back of this one, I've been using hooks. If y'all don't want a hook and want a clasp, I always ask when the piece is ordered, or order is put in if it's custom. The reason why I do use the hooks is because anybody could use them. I mean, granted, they have like some form of, you know what I mean, like people with arthritis, like easy to just hook onto it. And magnets would be pretty cool, but some of the stuff gets a little too heavy for that. And like the fairy garden stuff, like I love my little rave girls, but I would hate if they lost something because they were dancing and they lost their necklace. And so I try to make things really secure. I try to make things like as if they're going to be on stage or something, like how stage clothes are always a little stretchy in the right places. It's just strategically made so it doesn't rip. And another thing is, anytime I come up with a new design, I give it to my mom, and she's so rough on jewelry that she's the perfect test. She's like the final boss for my pieces. And I really, really love how this came out. I better take a picture of the back. I didn't do the clasp on this yet. This is going to have a heart and arrow clasp. But, some things, and it's usually the first, I come up with ideas, and then I gather the ingredients, and then I cook it up, and that first one coming to life, I usually fall right in love with, and like rush it, so I could wear it. And, what am I doing? And so that's why some of the pieces that I wear myself are actually incomplete. But the one that I'll make after this will have the final layers, and it'll pass my sniff test, if you will. I'm not necessarily a perfectionist, but if something's going on my shop, I want it to be as perfect as possible, because I don't want it to end up in a landfill, and I certainly don't want it returned. Knock on wood, I have never gotten a return in my life, and I've been selling vintage, handmade jewelry, and just about, you know, anything that I fall in love with for about a decade now. I guess, yeah, a full decade. Full decade. So, I know that's a weird flex, but I just, the point of my business is that I'm so militant about it that, like, generally, and especially now, I don't have credit card processing, so people have to pay through PayPal or Venmo or trades, because I accept trades. It could be dried flowers from your mother-in-law's garden, or any, like, there's a lot that I accept because I like my materials to have stories, and like I said, I use a lot of natural stuff in my pieces, and I can't bring myself to buy something natural online. Like, I'm not gonna buy sea pebbles online. Like, I get if you make crafts with a certain, like, natural object, like, it makes sense to get online. Like, I can't bring myself to it. Like, I really want to make these Truth or Dare coins out of slices of wood, and I've come really close to ordering a bag of them off, you know, Amazon or whatever to get them, like, instantly, but I can't bring myself to do it, because, I don't know, I got, maybe that wood was going to go to waste because, like, small little branches on bigger trees or something. I don't know. All I know is we got a yard full of Brazilian pepper popping up all the time, and those have to be taken down or else they're just extremely invasive. They'll envelop everything, and they grow really fast, and like really, like, they're trees, instant trees, and they have really nice round branches. Like the tall, slender ones, I take all the branches off and I just put them aside, because when I have enough, I'll make one of those little wooden fences or little gates to put around elderberry or something, whatever pig can't eat, and around the coconut trees to avoid tragedy. I'm a Floridian, I'm terrified of coconut trees and pine trees. So I have one of those yoga trapezes, and before, like, moving from my last apartment, which had this big sea grape tree, huge one, and that's what I used to climb on, I was teaching myself how to do, like, basic climbing with minimal objects, because I'm already really good at climbing, just things, and so I wanted to learn it with ropes. I wasn't using anything except a harness, the rope, and a smaller piece of rope. I cut it in 3, like, this long pieces, and I made 3 Prusik knots, Prusik, and it's a survival knot and a tension knot. You loop the rope around whatever rope you're going to climb, and so it's like a loop. I have a video on it. If you look up Subtropica Botanica, Prusik Knots, there's a short. It's really low quality, but I haven't been able to demonstrate it in a while because now I'm terrified of pine trees. The only climbable trees are pine. And huge branch, living branch, had a bunch of growth on it. Will, it was like 6'5" or something, was sitting in it every day and like swinging on it. So I go out there, I nestle myself in this yoga trapeze thing, because it's just like, I don't know, it's like something a ferret would chill in, and as soon as I got both of my legs tucked in, the branch snaps. Mind you, it's a huge tree branch, pine tree branch, and it was one of the only times that I could, like, recall in my life where it went slow motion. And I was right under the branch, and somehow I was able to put my arms up, grab the branch, and push out, so the branch landed in front of me, and there was a little, like, slump in the soil there, so like, the branch was on the ground, and my legs had, like, this much room. It was, well, his legs would have been broken as anybody else. And, of course, like, it was, like, all silent for a second, and I started screaming my little head off, to no avail. Nobody heard me, and so I stopped, because I couldn't bring myself to look. I didn't know, like, what was gonna happen. And I looked down, and my legs were absolutely fine. Like, I had maybe a little scratch, because there was just this uneven part that I fell into perfectly. I have pictures of it, of, like, my legs under it. Maybe I could look it up. I have my photos. the full one. Oh, those are cool pictures. Ha! I was collecting all the water bottles, and I instead of going back and forth with arms full of water bottles, I just threaded them onto a piece of scrap rope that I found in a pile. And I was able, I wish I took pictures when I was done collecting them, because I had this huge strand of water bottles, like a pearl necklace of empty water bottles. Work smarter, not harder. I don't know what I want to make though. Here's one of the sun. That's the sun that's in that center of that heart. And foils. I have this really satisfying, and it's kind of like not a dark reason. I think it's quite charming. I told somebody and they looked at me like I was nuts, but the bowl reminds me of like something you would see in a Buddhist temple. Like it already kind of reminds me of the shape of a stupa. And I don't know if anybody is familiar with relics, Buddhist relics. And well, relics could mean a lot of different things, but there's monks that when cremated, they leave behind like pearls, like essentially a pearl, what they call pearls, and they're just like these hardened, inorganic, and I keep meaning to look up, every few years I look it up to see if like anybody's like, you know, solidly like looked it up. I don't know, maybe somebody here knows. And yeah, so I thought it would be a perfect bowl to keep my pearls in. To be really careful with this chair because it always wants to like make me face plant on the desk. What's up with these? Mustn't waste. It's my little personal thing. I keep stuff from the desk and then I use it to make my mom and I something. Oh my god. A desk full of projects. Musical chairs though. Ideally I want to keep this desk clear and get shelves and then have all of my tools and supplies on the shelves, and then per project just grab what I need and it'll all be ready to go in like little trays and stuff. I can't find shelves though that I can afford. Like if I had $300, I would just continue to rough it and not be buying no shelves. I'd be getting craft supplies. I am known to like skip meals just so I can, not anymore, become really responsible, but like I went without gas a whole winter for a pair of shoes. And yeah, my what is that called, responsibilities, my something isn't in check. But I pretty much only get craft supplies. Like, I very rarely, like, craft supplies and books. And how I get my books, I try to find, because usually if I'm buying a book, it's because it's either an ancient text or, like, about an ancient text. And so I find, like, what author did it best or what translator did it best. And then I go from there. And then I'll just go on eBay. And then usually, like, it will be a bunch of different listings for that book, so I'll find the ones that are on a shop that offer buy one get one half off, or buy two get one free, buy three get two free, and they're already like $5 a book. So I just find the other books that I want, and I end up buying like the book that I would have spent like 10-15 bucks on for about $5, and then I get 5 books in the mail because I get 2 more, because I always find 2 more, whether it be for myself, Will, or my parents, because I tell people this all the time, because I do get asked quite a lot, like, why I like books so much, and why I need books to have reference books for any and every, like, subject I can find, because not everything is online. And I live in Florida, where the electricity goes out at its will, at its own very own discretion, and just for, you know, and you never know how long that's going to be. A lot of my stuff doesn't require electricity. William is a computer programmer. When the electricity goes out, he's very bored, but not anymore, because I got him a kit of watercolor paints. And, yeah, Florida. Yeah, he'll survive. And, that's not the only reason why. I just genuinely like every and all crafts, and inspiration comes from the darndest places. Like, for a while I was making stuff that was really bright, really colorful, paired with black and white, and, like here, I mean, this isn't really a example, but it's nice. So this is a piece of chandelier. I found it on a garage floor, and I made a tassel pink and green, and then this interesting gold bead, and black and white. And that's because, like, in France, like, just very, like, riche European countries that, and, like, Moroccan, anywhere there's black and white tiles. Anywhere there's black and white tiles. I see it a lot in, like, old French, like, apartment rooms and stuff, like, old. And, it's always such rich walls, like, fuchsias and reds and golds and, like, celestial blues. And it's, with the black and white tile, I love it so much. I think that's why I like corn snakes so much. It's a specific corn snake, the one that's in Southeast Florida. I'm sure there are a lot of places, but anyway, it's like a beautiful orangey red, like, you know, your snake, but its belly is black and white, almost checkerboard. They're beautiful. I actually have a snake tongue, or a corn snake tongue. So, my cat that lives outside, she was adopted from, like, a Gucci pet food store, and, I mean, to be frank, she was, like, left with me, and there was no way I was gonna send her back anywhere, so, you know, she just became a part of my life. And, she was an indoor cat, and then one day she just decided, and, she has a sister named Audrey. She has no teeth. She's been my fur baby since about 2011, I think. Yeah, 2011. Sometimes I'm 100% sure, and sometimes I'm not sure if it was 10 or 11. But anyway, so she was totally fine inside, but one day she just, I don't know, she looked outside and was like, you know what? That's what I identify with. And she said F the inside and was just not having it inside anymore. Like, she was climbing on everything like it was trees, but, like, not, like, in a crazy, like, way. She was just, like, she was having fun. She was, like, she was so much energy, so much energy. So I gave her a trial, an outdoor trial. It didn't end well. So I used to have a lot of people that came by my apartment because I lived in between where all my friends lived and where they were going, and I don't really like going out, so people would stop at my place first and then go out, and which was perfect for me. And so somebody let Audrey out. Bad habit of leaving doors cracked and, like, not closing them fully. And Audrey, with no teeth, she's just an indoor cat. She'll walk outside if the door is open, but she likes the couch. She likes walking around in AC. Like, she's She's Gucci. And so but she also is really fierce. Like, she has this high-pitched, like, little meow chirp, but she's tough. She, like, kicks ass and instigates fights with other cats, and is also a wee bit of a hoe. Because, like, times where I'd be outside, because she would sit right there, but anytime somebody walked over, she would. And, but anyway, so one day, like, so I left the door open and I was looking for her everywhere, and I finally found her under a car. Automatically knew something happened. She got bit by a raccoon, and so I got her to the vet, and they said they couldn't stitch her up, that she had to, like, naturally drain all the stuff in it. So that was, you know, trying to keep everything covered and keep her from jumping onto things. So, like, she didn't hurt herself and her dust got into it and stuff, and difficult. And Kitten, who was on her great outdoor trial, got hit by a car in the same month. I lived alone, like, and I was dealing with 2 cats and working at this little pizza restaurant, and yeah, but I don't know, they're my existence, so I love them dearly. And so I brought Kitten to the hospital, and she had to be put in a cast, and like I was just describing, she's a ball of energy. She's literally, like, energy defined. And she couldn't sit still, so I had to put her in her crate like a dog, a big one, so she had plenty of room. And somehow she got out of that with a cone. I don't know how still. Like, I don't know if she, like, pushed the cage up to get out of the larger things. I don't know. And she got out with the cone and the cast. Because the cast is so heavy, it's just like, boom, boom, like, flopping. It was her leg, and it was just, and then Audrey's running around leaking, like, nuclear waste. It was an experience. And now that there's, like, hardly any cars or anything that drive by, like, she's fine outside, but yeah, she had to do the indoor life for a while. And then my old apartment was, like, inside of a gate, and there was just a lot of yard, so she had no reason to go anywhere, and she was fine there. But, oh my god, that was a really long story to just share this. So, she got a corn snake, and I already said those are my favorite. They're beautiful. And all that was left was, like, a mangled piece of his jaw, but the tongue was there, and it was, like, already kind of severed. I don't want to be gross, but so I put it in a preservative to make a wet specimen of my own, and it's oh my god, a corn snake tongue, and I sealed it, and I put some glitter on it, and a snake eye, or a cat eye shell, and also called Shiva shells, and it's those round, the back is round, and the other side is flat, and it has a spiral. They're little trap doors for crustaceans, I believe. On those spirally, like, cone-like shells, they close them like little doors, and that you can find them, like, a lot by obviously the shoreline, but I find them, like, more in, like, when, like, usually, like, beach will have, like, some vegetation when you get a little further from the shoreline. I find them in that a lot. The ones I find are quite small but this is one I found, and that, to me, is, like, a big one, because usually they're, like, eep. But I collect them in both sizes. I'm just gonna continue. And then this, I'm not sure if this is a raccoon or an opossum, but don't ask me how, but somehow we lost my purse in between the house and a local nursery, and we found a whole skeleton of an opossum or raccoon, and I thought that was pretty sweet. And And I don't kill insects, I really don't, but garden pests, if they're decimating something, and I'll give it plenty of time to like be a part of the ecosystem and see if any birds, and like watch to see what birds come and like look and to see if that bird is even in the area. But sometimes there's too much, and or it's on a tree that's too small and can't take it, so I'll freeze them. And but what I do is I make specimens with them, so I put them in glass bottles with a preservative and seal them with wax, and it's just, and a label that says, I just use my handwriting, and usually I put the label separate just in case somebody doesn't like my handwriting and they don't want it, you know, clogging up the bottle, because it's usually in a small bottle. And yeah, I just realized I should put a blank label in it too, so somebody can make their own. A lot of my creations are indeed teamwork, especially my custom pieces, because I like to think I'm quite an approachable person, so I really like when people have an idea in their mind and enjoy like talking it out, like, alright, like, and then I could tell them what I have at the time, because I don't buy really bulk in anything unless it's like jump rings, head pins, the little things that I use to connect everything. I really haven't found a way around that other than luck, chance, and when I do find like bulk of it on eBay and a lot with other broken jewelry and stuff to scoop it up, or offer up. Offer up is great. Except I scooped up all the beads and ooh, I cannot win with these. I keep knocking these little things over. Maybe I should, yeah, put them in here. I have a bad habit of using my resin poker to pick up stuff, but sometimes I get resin on the case and then I end up wasting a bunch because they clump together. I definitely need shelves because I have to streamline a lot, because I plan on making a ton more than I already do. The reason it's so chaotic in here is because I make stuff non-stop. That's what I do. And I don't make a set thing, so I don't just have like a desk with all my crochet needs or all my beading needs or something. There's the resin section, sewing section. I just have my yarn up there, and then my needles. Well, good thing I'm not crocheting anything, because I have no idea where they are. Hello. I don't know what I did. Oh yeah, I do. Right there. Right in front of me. This is quite cute, actually. I found this. It's ceramic, like kind of like glass, honestly. And it's got some olive leaf. Whoop, hello. But it's I'm guessing like a little garbage can or something. I don't know why it doesn't ring vase for me. I'm guessing it's probably vase. I'm not sure, but I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. And I usually keep it up, but I figured this would be nice and safe as long as I don't keep knocking them around. And just don't know what I want to make right now. I did start this, but I'm not. It's gonna have a bunch more stuff and a bunch more of these going around, and I'm trying to make like a sacred heart. So the pearl is supposed to be the flame, and maybe the gold is like what's holding the flame, kind of like the liberty. It's libertas, I mean, come on. And then a little piece of turquoise. But I do like to start things, and if I don't know the next step, just put it down and work on something else. Like, I really, really like these. Rainbow, I make these, and I sell them on my site. I don't think I have a listing for them. Somebody saw one and got it that way. I post my stuff everywhere. Anything that you see on my Instagram, I could remake anything that either isn't for sale or sold already. And even if it's not absolutely exact, it'll be very, very close. And I could add something special to you on it. Like maybe your birthstone is turquoise. I could add a piece of turquoise to it, like even in a hidden way, like by the clasp. And just something to make it personal to you or whoever's getting it. I do offer, I still have to make a listing for it, but I do offer memorial jewelry. So if you have ashes of a loved one, of a loved fur baby, anybody, I am more than happy to incorporate that into anything you can think of. Like if you have somebody that really enjoyed reading, I have those molds that hold books open, and I thought that would be such a beautiful thing to incorporate a loved one in, because it's like they're holding the book open for you. I miss my grandparents. But yeah, no, and things are fully custom. Like if you see something, the chain is custom, the charm is custom, and I'm very, very, very loose with pricing. It's almost like don't listen to the prices on the site. Like, I'm looking to get my stuff out there, that's all, and teaching people techniques and connecting with people with similar interests, because I've gone my whole life not knowing a single crafter, and when I did like finally meet a crafter, they were either like a total gatekeeper or just like a miserable person, to be frank. Like, I asked this girl like about, I didn't know how to pronounce cabochons. I was calling them cabochons, and she's just like, I don't know, I was saying something and it wasn't even the point of my sentence, and like, oh yeah, I had a bunch of cabochons, I don't know if you'd be interested in something, and she just like looked at me dead in the eye and was like, they're cabochons, and just like went to walk away. I was shooketh. Dick. But anyway, I really don't mind, because I mean, she could have been having a bad day or something, and like, so I always think about that, but made me realize, like, and seeing a lot in groups and stuff like that, and like, I don't know, just like really authoritative type of like, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a competitive thing. I mean, it's art, and you know, if you see something and you know you can make it, you know, I don't see anything wrong with making it for yourself, but just put your own spin on it or something, or like maybe say put inspired by, and that's not even like the most thing. Like, I think the thing that bothers me most is just gatekeepers, and not even that, is the fact that there's not like a spot that people could like incorporate it into other things, I think. Because my blog section, I know my website ain't shit yet, but compared to other sites out there, but I really like where it's going. I have 2 contributors so far, Amanda and Beaches, who does crochet, and Amanda's posted 3 blog posts, and I actually posted the Beaches one because anytime I see like good information on Facebook, like that's gonna be buried, you know, a few memes and like posts and updates later. So I'll be like, hey, you mind if I post this picture and the information you posted on my site and the blog? Like, I'll put your links, I'll do all of that. It doesn't cost anything, like, and it's always yes. And I still want to make a article of Ugly Shiloh's art, because she just makes the coolest, really legit voodoo dolls. I really have a lot of interest in learning more, not to practice, just for understanding and curiosity. I love learning anything and everything I can about other cultures. I think until everybody does that, like, it'll be really hard to connect with one another because there's too much you don't know or understand. Like, even things that people think funny very, very vastly between times, generations, cultures, and subcultures. I don't know. I like learning anything. And I find that it honestly makes the mundane feel a lot less mundane. Like my dad was an irrigation man, so he installed sprinkler systems and irrigation. And I do like physical labor, like digging and stuff like that. Obviously, there's a limit on how much my body can take, but like when I was a kid, I used to fill in the trenches after my dad dug backfielding, and I had really strong arms. I'm a little weakling now because I don't backfield, and there's just so many little tips and tricks that you learn from a lot of places. And PVC scraps are really fun, like, material to work with, too. Oh, that's the necklace. Now that I'm holding, I know I already showed this, but it's my favorite. So, I guess it is quite late. I'm gonna see if... Excuse me for a moment, if anybody's here. Let's get sentimental. Yeah, I'm gonna say that instead. Like, you're absolutely mental. Man, you're absolutely sentimental. No. I think so. I like this bag of green. Yeah. I really liked this pink bag. A little charm came in it, and so I also liked this shamrock. Like, that somebody has a Martha Stewart hole punch, and they sell these hole punched shamrocks, and I was really desperate for 4-leaf clovers to incorporate into my thing, and I didn't know that. I would have just gotten a shamrock hole punch, because I do have a few Martha Stewart hole punches that I've picked up over the time, and they're great. And I really like the shamrock. But she did a really good job, and I will definitely be back if I ever need more. Because I just think that's pretty magical. And I wanted to show. I really needed jump rings. These are the ones that I ordered on Amazon. They were, I think, like about like $6 each, and which isn't bad for how many. And these are so much more tarnish resistant than the ones I was using. But so I ordered these, and I didn't realize that it was coming in like a week and not overnight. You know, first world. You get spoiled easily. The mailman is like my, you know, my access to the outside world. But that week I went to my parents' house. I wasn't going to be here when the jump rings got here. And my friend Christina, Christine, and Christine is somebody else. Christine always puts together stuff before she tosses it in case I could use it. Like styrofoam plates, I put planters on those, like stuff that like produce and stuff come on. And those like things that mushrooms come in. I use all those for plants, so she keeps them for me. And her friend puts together, he's an artist, and he's been putting together little goodie bags for me too. And he gave me all these brand new jump rings the week I needed them. Like, stuff like that is what, and I guess this is what he was using them for. So I have a little piece of the chainmail he was working on. So I really want to at least finish it to make a bracelet. And I forgot what that weave is called. They all have names, and I love learning them. That made me extremely happy, and they're really good quality. Well, this goes with resin. This is just my little, it's a bead thing, but the top broke off. And I use this this is money rice that I made myself, and looks great in resin pieces, and I love incorporating it into stuff that also is supposed to symbolize abundance and stuff like that. And I just have the rainbow of crystal chips. Most of these I've had, and the ones that are absolutely full, I got them from Opalite Market, I believe is their name. And they make incredibly gorgeous kits, like orgonite kits and stuff like that. Like, they're just really fun looking. I wish I could get one then, but I'm glad I took the plunge on these, because usually I would take chipped crystals and just break off my own, because again, I don't like buying anything new, but I tried to find a small little business to give my small little coins to, so I could save a little bit of time. And ain't this cute? I just made this. This is a milkweed flower from the backyard that dried on my desk, so I took the top part out, and it's this perfect little charm. It's got pig hair on it, and it's just a little heart with a little milkweed in it. I quite enjoy. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh, it's incense. There. I'm so bad at using lighters. So that was probably like the Kendall Jenner of the cucumber cutting of lighting lighter. But this stuff smells so good. Again, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I really like incense. There's only a few brands that I buy, but I started making my own. I got bags and bags of rose petals, lavender, Mexican dream herb that we grow and harvest ourselves, and just all kinds of things to add to incense, so I can make them very, very custom. And this is self-burning incense. I didn't light it completely. I only made sure a few little pieces. But see how it's burning quite nice. And like if I took a blowtorch to it, it would burn like a lot. And it just smolders. Because what you do, and if you want to make self-burning incense, so if you don't want to have to use charcoals to burn it, that's what I used to use, was charcoals, but I ran out of charcoals, and I can't keep buying charcoals. That's not in my budget. Like, if I buy anything, it has to be craft supplies that I put directly back into Tropical, and like every minute of every second of my existence right now is subtropical. I'm really putting my all into getting it situated, and now I'm working on more pages. Amanda is going to be offering her Reiki and tarot readings, because I want to have all kinds of services. I even want to have landscapers, and you know, like any local small business, I'm going to have a directory, and it's going to have an interactive map. It's already being made, so I'm very excited for that part. And you could already play Kinto on it, which is astounding to me. I've tried my own shop many times. Every time I wasn't hitting it, but every time I was learning exactly what the point was that I wasn't hitting. And for once, everything is coming together, and it's a strange feeling, but it's incredibly fascinating to be able to witness, because you know, I will be pretty blunt. I was like kind of in the process of giving up, and I don't know, I just stopped listening to other people, I think, and kept to myself for a few years, eradicated any distractions, and like I decided to not consume alcohol anymore, like at all, not even a sip of beer or anything like that. I can't craft, I can't like write and read my handwriting the next day. It ends up being kind of a waste of time to me. So I just, alright, I don't like it, so I just won't partake in it. Unfortunately, in Florida, it's pretty much the only thing that people do is go out to bars and the beach and stuff, but like mainly people culminate at night because of work and stuff. And I don't judge anybody who does. I can make a mean cocktail, but I don't have any interest in it. And I can make a really good Bloody Mary, but I can make one. I don't have to make it for myself. And it was just time that I buckled down and got busy, to be frank again. And yeah, so all of my interests I rolled in like one fatty and sparked it, and now I'm trying to do everything at once and just rolling with it and not overthinking it, but at the same time, like, oh my god, I still have this in my hair. And yeah, so I don't know, I have a good feeling for once. I don't know what any of that had to do with incense. So to make self-burning incense, because if you want to know how I make anything, I'll tell you. I'm not like keeping any secrets, like, and so for the self-burning incense, what you'd want is to find yourself some good sawdust, no pressure treated wood or anything like that, nothing that has chemicals. So what I use is pine logs, absolutely untreated, perfectly natural, in their raw form, pine logs. And I just take my Dremel out, and I mean little chunks of pine logs, and one will one little chunk will, you'll be fine for a while. Take a Dremel or even a saw, anything that you could like make friction and to make sawdust, and just sit there sawing random pieces. It's a good workout. And if you're doing a Dremel, you could practice carving and stuff and doing designs in that piece of wood. Doesn't have to be any waste. And that sawdust you just mix with your dried herbs. This doesn't have any, I know you can't smell it, but this doesn't have any essential oil in it. It's just rose petals, lavender, rosemary, rue, Mexican dream herb. Oh, what? Ha! Yeah, as I was saying that, there is one secret that I plan to keep. It's because it took me like 4 years to figure it out. And that's my beautiful leaves. I already sold out of them. I sold them for 25 bucks a pop, and I sold out. And but I'm gonna drop them to 20, which is, I know, why would you drop something if it's selling? But I'm rearranging my pricing because I'm gonna have large ones for 25 and regular ones for 20, and then earrings are gonna be 20. Yeah, I still have to figure it out. But it took me years to figure out how to keep the shape of the leaf and the color, and I quite like it. And I just sold another necklace, and 2 necklaces and a keychain, so I am stoked for that. And that means I can get, what is it that I needed? More resin. Because the resin that I use is, everything is expensive to me. For people who know me, know that I am just always broke. My wallet is literally empty. And every time I do get like some cash money, I put it right back into craft supplies. It used to be clothes and anything from a thrift store, but now I've become more militant. Like, I'll just wear rags until you know, I acquire more clothes. I like acquiring clothes from yard sales and thrift stores anyway, so I got a few things off of Amazon. They fit horrible. It smells like chemicals, and like returning it is a nightmare. I do like stuff off of eBay, but it takes so long for me to find. I have too many interests. Like, I have a closet full of clothes, but nothing fits each other. Like, because everything is from a different decade, like a different everything. Epoxy resin, yeah, it's actually UV resin specifically. I always wanted to get into resin crafts, but it takes too long. Waiting 24 to 48 hours for something to cure. I like working in layers, and I finally have been hitting my, like, what I want to hit. Like, I did this one last night. I started it on the live, but I finished it. And I did the chain, everything's from scratch. And I used 2 separate molds. I finally got a mold that had angel wings. I wanted to make wings hearts, because the Pennsylvania Dutch, there's this subculture, if you will, Catholic subculture called the Brocherie, Brauchereei. And one of their symbols is a wing heart. And a bunch of other people have adopted that symbol, and I'm sure before them too. But I really wanted to make some, and it's giving like Sailor Moon. So really stoked for this piece. So I used 2 separate molds. A heart, that was just a free mold that came with the resin bottle, and then the things, and it looks like it's been connected all along. I still have to do the back layer, but she's a keeper. And then I did this one last night with the same mold because I finally got a new mold. Well, but it's sweet. It's a ram head, and the flowers are the flowers that my mom and I find when we go on walks. And I'm starting to use mica on the outside, because usually everything is on the inside. Like, well, I mean, I like putting symbols and stuff. Like this crucifix. I mean, Ankh has Jesus in it. Look at Jesus. It's got a feather, arrow. And the symbols are quite hard to find, so I find what I can. This is one of my favorites. But the only thing I don't like about it is I wanted like a white background, like an ivory background. Kind of looks like sparkly jizz. I mean, I suppose if you're into that kind of thing, it's just, I don't know. Sparkly jizz. Curdled. Gnarly. But I got like a rainbow of crystals up in there. And then this is magnetic sand, quartz, and copper. And then I make the chain out of salvage beads. I really like working with resin. To be fair, I like working with everything. Like, this is still my favorite. This is just, I had a bunch of scraps on my desk, and I really liked what they looked like together, so I assembled them. These beads, my dad, again, did irrigation, and I would always have to be sitting in the truck for hours on end. And this one woman used to always let me come in and, like, give me, like, tea and cookies, quite literally. They were very cultured because her husband was an archaeologist. And so, like, tea sets, the whole 9 yards, biscuits, and lessons on, like, she told me about high tea and, like, or high noon. Look at me already forgetting. But again, I was like 8, and she gave me these beads that her husband brought back. I forgot what country, and yeah. Well, I guess obviously I forgot what country. And this is just scrap. This is from a chandelier. This is from this long necklace that broke, and I got it for free at a vintage shop I used to work at when I was 13. And I made these tassels by just putting some chain on a jump ring and adding stuff to the bottom. And the chain is plastic from the 60s. My aunt, which is really my godmother, sent me some broken jewelry of her artist friend Sarah Brown. Sarah Brown is a pretty well-known painter in Atlanta, Georgia, Buckhead specific. And yeah, I like the kind of geometry and how much space it takes up. So, like, it's really cool for low-rise dresses. And I made this not too long ago. I'm not too much of a fan of it, as I don't really understand it myself. But I made these weird spiral-like beads and some chainmail over that bead. And it's just, I don't know, it's interesting. I want to change this part, I think. But yeah, and I'm gonna try to get some, that's what I needed to get. I need to try to find some polymer clay. I have some, it's the cheapest of the cheap, and it disintegrates when it's cured. But I think I could probably still coat it in resin. I just want white or black, and then I'll paint it. And then coat in resin. And yeah, I'm trying to get the last few things that I need to start electroforming. I got everything like 4 years ago, and I just can't get the battery acid open, and don't really want to buy another bottle just because I can't get one open, but I did kind of put it aside for a really long time. Do need a little bit more coffee, so I know what to work on. If anybody is new and is here, I like making jewelry. I like making everything, but a lot of things I usually translate into jewelry, so it's like nice, compact little wearable pieces. This one, it's not my favorite piece that I've made. It's kind of like, I had some stuff that I had to use up. I have Kafka's The Trial. It got absorbed a bunch of water, and I could not bring myself to throw it away. So I've been making snippets of some of the text. And look at this tooth I found. This one too. And this one. And gold. Copper. Where's my... This is my treasure trove. It's got so many tiny little bits, because when I do the gargouille pieces, it gets really, not, like, I wouldn't say complex, but the amount of stuff that I fit into tiny little serpents, copper, sterling, poppy seeds, Damiana flowers, rosemary, lang lang, cadum flowers, copper, sterling, steel, magnetic sand, quartz, pyrite, lavender, rose petals, gold, fenugreek seeds. You get the idea. Anything and everything I could. Jacurdi beans or gunja seeds. I wonder if I could run out and grab some coffee real quick without... I'm gonna grab, yeah, some things there. Well, the pot was empty, so I put some more on. It finally made all makes sense why others were very suffering. I don't get it. Well, because if I'm understanding right, probably not. There's so many gatekeepers in the crafting community, and some things just really aren't secrets. And it'll save people a lot of time, money, and effort. And it's just inspiration in general. Like, I've gotten a few times since starting all this, like, you made me dig out my, like, paints, or, you made me take the plunge and get the soldering equipment and stuff, and, like, I know it sounds corny, but that was, like, a huge deal. I'm such a hermit, homebody, I didn't feel like I was making any form of ripple in the world, or in existence in general, and, if I could convince anybody to craft or try to make art or create something that isn't like, you know, mandatory, that's well worth it. I always said, like, I could make anything except money anyway, so, and, yeah, and, I grew up using scraps, and, like, when I was a kid, we were actually bankrupt. My mom bankrupted us with Fendi, and, credit cards. So, a lot, like, I grew up, like, shopping in thrift stores and stuff like that, but I also, like, was well aware of vintage and collected vintage already, so I minded not. I actually couldn't stand them all, and still can't. And, yeah, I'm really good at salvaging the things that I need, and I have really good luck with it. Like, a quick story is, I really needed jeweler's saw blades. They're these really thin, like, wire-looking saw blades, and I could get them online, of course, but I couldn't afford it. And I helped somebody move something out of their garage, and I looked down, and I was like, oh, what's that weird envelope that was just, like, kind of folded up, covered in sand? It had a brand new pack of jeweler's saw blades in it. The garage of the person, no jewelers or crafters live there. Like, stuff like that just blows my mind. And I just told the story earlier of the jump rings. I ordered 2 packs off of Amazon, and because I sold a necklace, and I was like, well, might as well get them while I can. And that week I went to my parents' house, so I wasn't here for the delivery anyway, which, instead of being next day, like, spoiled brat status, like, it was like a week, and I was like, aw, and, a week from now I'm not even gonna want to make jewelry, and, I went to my parents' house, and this guy, my parents' neighbors, they're this, like, really nice, chill, hippie couple, like, they do a lot of, like, work for, ecological areas locally, and water, like, keeping the waters clean, and she puts aside any stuff like, you know, like the plastic things that mushrooms come in and stuff like that. She keeps those because she knows I use them for the plants, and her friends, which I really want to meet in person, saves any, like, craft things. I have to grab it. He gave me this book called, like, Candy in Antiquity or something, and they have all these massive, like, spreads of cakes and chocolates and stuff, but it'll be, like, Masonic and stuff. Like, it's a really interesting book, like, and I think the Archaeological Society created it, and it's bent weird, and yeah, I'll grab it actually, because it's one of my favorites. I already plan on making a video just flipping through the pages, and there's a few books that I want to do that. I probably won't talk in the things, which would probably be nice for some people out there, but I'm going to silently flip through a few books and decks that I have. Like, I have these all ready to go. So, I'm sure you remember Pokemon. I never got to play it because A, I'm the only child, B, my parents didn't trust, like, other parents, so I never left the house. And I didn't really want to anyway. I was so freaking shy, and I was, like, the only goth kid at a Catholic school. So, these are just like Pokemon cards, but they're Sailor Moon. And I found 2 brand new sealed packs online, and I'm keeping my eye out for more. I know there are more, I have to sell another necklace. Because I sold 2 necklaces and a pair of earrings, but I already know what I'm getting. Mold maker, so I can make my own molds for resin. Making a limitless craft, that much more limitless. I was coating my, I still am, coating my doodles. That's Negative Nancy, the positive prostitute. She hates her life but loves her job. And I made a little will heart. And some just like doodles like this. And this one I actually tried to seal, or was it this one? Oh, a little sacred heart. But they're plastic. And this one was literally just a random doodle that I just cut out, like a scribble essentially. You'll see how the background's either paint bronze or metallic blue, and they're plastic, and it's just watercolor paper, not sealed, with micron pen because those don't bleed, and watercolor paint. I have this little devil, wait, is it? No. The tower card ready to go. Here's the devil. But I want to add this to some great big piece. Oh, Sailor Jerry. It's a peen. It's had it a peen. It's not my best. It was just an idea. I couldn't escape it. And it's like a heart, kind of like an upside down heart. I don't know what penises look like. And little mushrooms to be dangled upon something. And a smoothie face. Oh, and this one I think is my favorite. It's a sword that says Amen, and it's got like an upside down moon. Well, not necessarily upside down. I don't know what situation it is. And here's my new logo, but this is a crappy, I don't like the colors they used on this one. But it's just the three pyramids of Giza with the three others just looking at each other. I do have a few logos. I want to show the ones I made. Alex, if you're still here, I'll just send it to you as a messenger, because I don't want to get booted. I don't know how they came out so gnarly. It was going to be like the sun like kind of wrapped in the moon, but it took a dark turn pretty quick. And then there was I want to draw the Ouroboros. I always mess up the name. But instead of eating itself, it's blowing itself. I'm sure it's been done. But these are the things that pop into my mind. Not as pure as one might assume. I really like this. It reminds me of Sailor, is it Sailor Cosmos or Sailor Universe? I think Sailor Cosmos, which is like Sailor Moon's final form or something. They definitely mess with dimensions in that storyline. It's really cool. I like it so much more than I already did watching it as an adult. This one's cool too. Soulmate. Should be making stuff, not just show and tell. It's boring. But, oh, and I just made this for fun because don't you remember these, like, coming in those jewelry kits? Like, it just looks like one of those, like, comes in a children's jewelry set, and I don't know, nostalgia. But this kind of reminds me, like, of something from, like, a Vegas love hotel or something. Really like resin. And, you know, you don't have to use resin, or UV resin, specifically. You don't have to, I just love it so much. It's got the rose, and it says Soulmate. Soulmate was really connected, but I cut it so it fit. And, dice. And, a few things that I've used resin for other than crafts. I punctured a hole in my paint tube. Like, you know how the metal paint tubes, they'll get a crease so creasy that eventually it'll like pop into like a sharp little hole. And that was just coming out. So I just put some UV resin on it, about 2 or 3 layers, just to make sure, like, because it was actively rushing out and there's no way I could squeeze the bottle where it would go in. And worked perfectly, and actually it looks quite cool. It has this little window of paint. And then another thing is I gave my mom these brand new Ray-Bans that I won on eBay for a really low price, and I really needed, I thought I was going to need sunglasses for St. Augustine because when I was a kid I remember it being really bright, but I can't stand wearing sunglasses. I just didn't wear them, so I thought I was going to wear them once, and the reason why I got them was really for my mom anyway. They were her style, and so I gave it to her before I even, anyway, I don't know why I keep going on these tangents. the case has a snappy button, the sunglasses case, and it's like that kind of plasticky, leather-looking material, and that was cracked off. So on the flip side, I just put a ring of resin around the button and held it in place, good as new. You can't tell from the outside. The inside, hardly, I mean, it's a huge amount of resin around it, but I made it a perfect circle, and I don't know, and it hardens into a plastic. So, there's that. And then there's a few other. Will's drone, he has this thing that, what is that for? Well, there is one more thing, but it's slipping my... Oh well. And my dad has an air mattress that has a small puncture in it, so I'm gonna bring it there and try to use it for that too. It hardens into a really tough plastic, and with just a UV light. And if you don't have a UV light and you needed to repair something, you just put it in the sun. It's incredible. The drone lens cap, that had a slight crack in it. UV resin holding it in place is, you know, essentially good as new. Now I think that coffee is ready. I'm going to pour me a fruit. do mismatch earrings. So if you just want one earring that was a feather, you could get one earring. And these are some of the ones that I load with stuff. You see cash money, sterling, a ball of aluminum, ancient Greek thing, and I forgot my coffee. Yeah, I forgot. I have to get it. Oy, sorry. In my mind, I cannot find this coffee. Coffee? Wow, I'm sitting here going back and forth, trying to find the coffee. And Will's outside sitting there drinking it with the paradise in his eyes. I was like, have you seen a coffee? I got him hooked on, like, he got me hooked on Iron Brew. I think a mosquito flew up my nose while I was on there. There's so many. Sorry you had to hear that. That's probably gross to drink. I don't get out much. And my two best friends are a Scotsman and a pig. But anyway, gosh, what was I saying? Oh, He got me hooked on Iron Brew, which I've had it before, but Iron Brew in a can. And they put a tax on sugar in the UK, so they dropped the sugar content of Iron Brew, and I'm sure a bunch of other sodas, but I know for Iron Brew, and a lot of people are upset about it, but you know what? Here in Florida, it's really hot, really humid, really sticky, so without that, like, it doesn't have any syrupy aftertaste, which it was already delicious, but it's just, it tastes crisper, if that makes sense. Like, I really only like the first few sips of a soda. We split sodas, none goes to waste, because when we don't, there'll be a half a can left over, and we really try to waste very little. Like, we always find uses for any like amount of trash. We burn our own cardboard and old mail and stuff like that, and we do it when we have fires. So yeah. And then of course the water jugs for cuttings, brilliant. And found some water barrels and just put wood on it, and could fit a bunch of bottles, and anything that needs pruned or trimmed could just be put into a bottle. And oh, yeah, it's crisper, and there's no like syrupy aftertaste. Like, when it gets room temperature, it's drinkable still. Like, it's not like, that's why I only like the first few sips, because it's so crisp and like all the carbonation. Because I really just like the carbonation. Like, I'm fine with just Sipho as long as it's super super crisp. I very much like it. What should I make? Yeah, because there's so many plants that grow from water cuttings. Milkweed, like if you like having all the butterflies in your yard, when milkweed pops up, you know, if it already has caterpillars on it, maybe just leave it. But if it, just cut it, and if it's big, you could cut it in a few pieces. Just throw it in a cup of water and it'll root, and pretty quick too. Or you could just stick it back into the ground. You could do the same with elderberry, mulberry, chaya, moringa, even though on occasion it won't do anything, and quite a few, and learning about new ones every day. I need to do more plant videos, that's for sure, because that means I'll be doing more plant stuff. I've been slightly neglecting the garden, to be quite frank, because I really want to like keep going with the streams and stuff, even though I need to start planning actual things to do and preparing before I get on camera, so I don't get too sidetracked. And yeah, and do more shorts and stuff like that, because there's so many like quick little tips and tricks that get buried in these videos, and I don't think anybody's gonna watch it rerun. Maybe. Trying to put my hair up. I need a break from loss of peripheral vision. how I made that heart necklace is I used these wings. I can't get the mic off the mold, so I guess I'm just going to be making gold wings with this. And this heart, which already had the little thing in it to give you a hole. And it works beautifully. Absolutely beautiful. I'm collecting stuff now because I want to make some ritual daggers for others, for other people, and used in plenty of various practices. So I'm doing my studies now on things that 100% should be incorporated. I know braided copper will be going down it, as well as a magnificent amount of stones and other natural components, and symbols of all kinds, as traditional as possible. I didn't know this was like all hanging out. I might change into my skirt too, because ironically I'm kind of shy now. Well, I don't want my hair down anymore because it just drives me nuts. I don't like what it looks like up. Weird shapes. Weird shapes appear. Maybe I will grab my skirt because it's quite uncomfortable. I mean, it's not. It's quite comfortable. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking. I'm really afraid of dead air. Dead air is very toxic, and that's what I hear and can safely assume. And so oh, yeah. Creative block. This is what creative block looks like. Creative block, a study. Feel free. I do have a skull tattoo. I don't have anything to stand on anymore. Hey, that works. But it's not like it's from Dollar Tree. I was gonna use it as a mold. I'm gonna make kind of like a wall of them, catacomb style, but with plaster gauze. Plaster gauze? What is that stuff called? Plaster gauze? It's like gauze wrapped in plaster. I have this Dollar Tree guy that was gonna use a mold for plaster gauze. I think it's called plaster gauze. It's gauze. It's covered in plaster. You soak it and then put it on stuff. I did my face. Why did my voice sound so deep there? what to make. I feel like that sometimes. Maybe I should just start putting beads together. So I just picked up a scrap piece of gold wire, and I grapple it to like there, and then push it back, and then move the pliers up so it's like that. You're at that top angle, and then I put it, go like that. I'm so bad at this. So it's like that, kind of like an ear wire. And then you come in, like to maybe from this, and then twist it around so it's like that. And then I use my favorite part of these pliers, this flat. For some reason, for the longest time I was calling it a Shawshank, which I'm sorry, I don't know why. Because it's not a shank, and I just kept saying shank, and I don't get out much. Oh, and so I start twisting the wire around, and it'll look like a little noose or something. And I usually do it right up on my face because my vision isn't the best. But yeah, and then that way when I do it about like an inch away from the end of the wire, I only get that much waste rather than having to cut off like a large amount of wire. And I just snip it, and I use, if I have this in my hands, this flat thing. But what I really use is I should have just went over and grabbed this. That was probably horrific looking. I use these and I just kind of butter it out and make it pretty. You just gotta be careful because this wire is quite soft. I'm sure it's made out of copper, but it's quite soft. And the reason why I like the flat bits is because the top really eat into the metal, and this one doesn't even have like teeth. This one did. It had like lines going out, and I don't know if you could tell, but I tried my best to grind them off with the Dremel. And now what? Create a vlog. Okay, maybe I'll make a rainbow things too. Like what pattern though? So maybe instead of just doing a straightforward rainbow, I'll do, instead of just red, I'll put red and then an orange bead in the center, and then do that down it. Yeah, I think that's so cool. Yeah. Let's see. It makes that piece like almost like 3 is kind of like a normal size bead, or like a 2 or 4 millimeter, 4 millimeter I think. Yeah, 4 millimeter bead, which I use those a lot for chain and rosaries. There's tons of ways to use seed beads. You don't have to use them for complex weaves. There she was. Oh, I got so quick. And so the next one will be, okay, well, maybe I will just do both oranges. Or should I just do one of each color, like all militant and like, probably, I don't know. Just gold bead wire, 24 gauge, I want to say. Make a little loop. I highly recommend these round pliers. I actually got these ones from Walmart like 10 years ago, and I've been using the same pair ever since. I go through wire cutters, like this is a new pair. Like they get so beat up. I use a lot of wire for a lot of different things. I use thick copper wire, but I do try to use other, I will grab these if I can't find the other ones. I make little spoons for my incense with thick copper scrap wire. I hammer the end as flat as possible, then I stamp a moon onto the other side. I call them fairy spoons because, you know, why just call them spoons? Let's see. Well, I'll just do it. I'll make it. I don't have to connect them yet. I find too, like, adding a jump ring in between each of these links make the piece move a lot better. I didn't used to add jump rings to the center, and night and day difference. And that way it becomes really like almost streamlined and of course super fun to make a bunch of these little bead things, and then you could put those in a Tupperware with jump rings and just connect them as you see fit. And I find a lot of my favorite color combinations are from like scrap beads sitting on the desk. A little orange guy. And the next one will be that orange in the center, but with yellow in the center. Oh, I'm gonna waste a little bit on that one. And this flat part of the round pliers really flattens your the ring. And usually these check seed beads, unless they're delicos, they really do vary in size. Some are chunky, some are really thin, some are super narrow compared to the others of the same color. Good. We'll have an idea for a pattern after this. Do the first, second, and third color of the spectrum, and keep doing that. So 1, 2, 3 would be the first one, and then 2, 3, 4 would be the second one, and so on. Like a flight of birds, like the triangle, how they kind of change the lead, the tip. I would love to know the actual name of that formation. Keep going. And this one will be yellow with light green in the center. And I do keep all these little bits because I throw them in resin. Because they're metal and they shine beautifully. I always forget to change my position. My foot is totally asleep. Huh. I'm trying to find two ones that aren't too, like, thick. Which burn? On this, I get such a kick. I get kick out of this. This is a beautiful closure for, or finding to add it. It had these big fake pearls, really strange texture, but the thread disintegrated, and I found it, I think, at a yard sale or something, and in a Ziploc, all the pieces. But somebody just glued a Chanel tag to the back of it. I found her. I think. Yeah. I'll make this for my mommy. I wish you could see this better. I should put it on like a white piece of paper. I mean, I could use that right now. For sure. Would you like to impersonate? Because maybe that could trigger something. Well, I have found myself making a rainbow chain. I had these already put together when I was making a ring for my mom. And followed a pattern off of YouTube. I don't have many bead weaves memorized other than the one where it's just like put 4 beads and then you put both threads through the 3rd bead and it'll make a nice little circle. And then you could build off of that, like this was that. It just went on and on. And I plan on continuing it because you just find a spot you want to start. And this one is going to be light green and dark green. Who did that song again? Oh, I actually like that. Where is the Scooby-Doo? Please. Give me a commission piece. Or better, yeah, a collaboration. Finally. Robot. We can see if that one robot that I really fell in love with is open source. Copy paste that image. We just have a crocheted version of it. Or beaded. If I could make like that micro beading, that'd be such an intense texture for a robot. A beaded robotic skin. Ow! That'd be sweet. This one's going to be I'll let that together. It's going to be the dark green and dark green and light blue, I think. Yeah, I found two small ones. Yeah. Perfect. The big ones they look like the same size, but they're quite larger than the rest. This color combination reminds me of something too. Could fit Scooby-Doo. Something else though. I really want to find even narrower, like, chain nose pliers. Reminds me of something. Just that, like, green and the sky blue. Maybe a cartoon. For sure a cartoon. Ooh, is that double O an idea? Or a reaction? This one's going to be blue and dark blue. So I'm not entirely sure because... Oh wait, I do. Okay. I don't know. Light blue and dark blue. I like it. Quite like this pattern. Light blue and dark blue. So be really careful tucking in that end bit of wire because the beads are glass, and if you nick it, they usually break right in half. Oh, I wonder if I could do it with the tail that small. I didn't give myself much room, but I'll give it a go. Just to see. Ooh, have to use pliers. Yeah. Well, I gotta feed the pig and all that. Blue boy. Ooh, blue boy's probably wondering where the hell his dinner is. Yeah. I'll just finish this rainbow. Alright. There was two separate blues. One was a good shade darker. Oh, I thought for a second that the phone wasn't plugged in. there's 2 more, and my thing is completed. Yeah. Duh. Yeah. Why do I keep doing this? Tiny little... But I know why this situation, because I have a tiny scrap of wire in my hand. Okay. Yeah. Mustn't waste. So this one would be this beautiful deep bluish violet, and the last, which will be lavender, kind of Rugrats reminiscent. I love how much 2 colors together can remind you of. Like green and pink, some people would be reminded of the Fairly Odd Parents. Some people would be reminded of the Joker card Carnival of Carnage. Oh wait, no, that's pink and blue. Oops. I thought I broke the bead like I just was mentioning as possible. It's quite tight though. Alright, that is it. Guess I could connect them. I'll use jump rings for this. Not these ones though. These ones. And then I'll hang something from each one, like a Swarovski crystal or a foil or both. You never know. Oh, the froggy. Since the light is right in the window, the window is always full of frogs. And moths. And frogs catching the moths. It's just wild how much two colors could remind you of. Even a color. Like, even when I say magenta, I think of the magenta dog of Blue's Clues. I too kind of want to have it go into pink. And I have pink beads. The only problem is I think they're painted. Maybe not. I think so. I don't like the painted ones because they're just white underneath and the paint starts to chip off, and I don't know, I just can't stand when that happens. And then I'll do it on the other side so the pink goes into the red. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And it's just alternating one in between. And you can make a bunch of these to make a tassel or put a sun-catching crystal on it to hang in your window. There's so much you could use handmade chain for. Where did I put the what? Oh, right in front of me. Yeah, I'm excited for the pancake. No disasters. One more. Yeah. Sorry for the silence. Just trying to mash it into place. Well, tuck it, so no pinches. This one is going to be lavender and pink. And of course, that reminds me of mid-90s Barbie. Well, Barbie in general. I really like that. The lavender and the pink is so sweet. I want to pair that with a big celestial pendant. Just gonna add that right on it. I think it's going to be a necklace. I'm going to repeat the rainbow, and for the pendant, maybe a large pearl or like iridescent resin charm. I like it. See with the pink. Maybe. Oh. Well, let me do it the red with the pink, and then I'm going to go feed the pig and cats and dog and finish feeding myself because I had just a few bites and I'm feeling the hunger. Look how much cheese and crackers though. I am essentially a rodent. So what would it be? It would be I don't know. Why can I must be hungry. I literally am stumped by what I'm trying to do. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll just continue it? Oh. Okay. But whatever's on the outside is the center of the one. And the inside, there's a... Oh my god, why can't I... Oh! Okay, no mind. I have no idea why I'm so stumped by that. Oh. Oh! Oh my god, because that's what it would be before that. Okay. Not losing my mind as much as I thought I was. I really like pink and red together, and that's why I like Valentine's Day so much, because everything was pink and red, so I love loading up on candles and stuff, because I do love a good candle. that's that. And then I'm just gonna make the same exact thing to have for the other side, but I'll probably make it on the couch, watching something with Will. I'm glad I add the pink. And put together would be quite nice. Take it. And put a big, I might even take the pink one off on this side and put it on that side. And have, yeah, I'll do that because I want the red to be directly onto whatever is added, like even just a, well, maybe. It wouldn't have copper on it though. It wouldn't. Maybe okay, I'll keep it. And make another one. Well, thank y'all for saying hello, or if you stop by and all that. Feel free to recommend any craft ideas or tools and supplies. And like Green Dean says, toodles. He documents edible medicinal weeds really globally and especially good for us in Florida here on YouTube and eattheweeds.com. And yeah, check them out. It's just, they're called weeds because they grow anywhere and everywhere. Fantastic. And you're never not like surrounded by food. Of course there's exceptions, but like Spanish needle is the third pollinator here in Florida, but it's also like $20 a pound in other parts of the world. A great way to get local pollen is eating them flowers. They're 100% edible, so you can add them to sandwiches, salads, and I find them to look very impressive in food. And they're peppery, so they're really good with savory dishes. And yeah, eat the weeds. ID them first. He tells you how to ID them, prep them, all that, everything you would need to know. And yeah, thank y'all. I'm gonna thank y'all. So, if you like spinach dip and you have Spanish needle, the weed dip is Spanish needle dip, and you just add butter, cheese, and the Spanish needle, and anything you want, a little milk, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, all that, paprika, and artichoke hearts if you want, and use the tender leaves, like the new growth, and just the leaves. I mean, if it's tender enough, you can use the like, you know, the little stems and stuff, but it's really delicious. It's and just forage somewhere that's like you know, away from cars and exhaust, or anywhere you think like any dumps have been made, and maybe not like on a walking path where dogs just feel the need to, well, fertilize. Just anything. Anyway, the seeds that the hitchhikers that get caught in your pants, they're the long ones that when you look at them they kind of look like a triumphant plankton or something, but those are actually used medicinally. Really fascinating weed plant. And yeah, it's the third what's it called? Pollinator. Feeds are things, so are things we go all that. Try it. See it.